At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Wednesday, March 11th, 2025. And I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
Bringing them some stories, Mama.
Yes.
Yes. And, you know, I forgot where it was at, but I really wanted to do the story yesterday about the high school track athletes.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it yet. You mentioned it to me last night.
Wherever it was, I'm not going to read it to y'all. I think it's funny because, I ran track, or I didn't run track. I threw shot put and discus in high school and stuff, but it was a baton race, or a relay race.
Yeah.
And one girl was passing this other girl and they were kind of rubbing elbows,
Mm-hmm.
and then she finally went and got past her, and the girl that was carrying the baton, for that team hit her over the head with the baton.
Oh my gosh.
Knocked her out of the race. Like they said she might have a possible skull fracture.
I guess so.
And all that. And that when I read it yesterday, the other school district hadn't apologized or anything. I mean, how in the hell do you just, bitch, you really run past me? I'm gonna whack you and knock you out of the race. Like the whole world didn't see that. And, everybody was watching, and the kids' parents, the girl's parents were, freaked out and all that, rightfully so. But, it says she had a lump on her head and possible fractured skull.
Well, the other girl's going to be kicked out of sports for good, I hope.
Who knows nowadays?
I know.
So anyway, throwing that one out there real quick on hump day. It's not worth going to look up all the names and all that stuff, but just what the are you thinking? Yeah.
People have no self-control anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I bet her parents, they might have been
They
proud.
might have said, if she passes, you whack her above the head. I mean, you don't know these days.
Jostling and in the lane with the elbows, which is normal. And the girl passed and she whacked her.
That's not funny. It's
don't
horrible.
worry, you're not going to get in trouble.
I know, like the whole world.
Everybody was watching it, at least. I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds of people. Yeah,
hundreds. I know, but still, shame yourself in front of those people. Yes. I mean, just take your loss. Do better next time. Try harder in practice.
Or swing harder and kill her next time.
Well,
and
let's don't do that.
Case. Yeah. So anyway, love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Let's get on some true crime time for hump day.
Okay, well, let's do it. We're going to start off in New York.
New York.
And 2 people have been charged with a ticket scam.
All right.
Like a Ticketmaster, buying tickets.
Big deal. Big business.
It is a huge business. However, these days, I don't blame people. I mean, I do blame people. You can't do anything wrong. I mean, you can't be a thief. But my gosh, the charges. I mean, we didn't do a whole show because of the Ticketmaster fees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but this is I think buying concert tickets these days is, you're being robbed.
I understand that. But if you want to go see them, you pay the price.
Right. Well, I won't be paying the price.
Well, I mean, they could say the same thing about our live show coming up.
We don't have fees.
That's true.
We make a point to not have fees.
That's true.
Or
July 19th.
There's a fee somewhat in this, and we are taking it.
We absorb it.
Yeah. So that there's a difference. But these people took advantage of all the different ways that you can buy tickets these days. And 2 people, like I said, were charged, but they were doing a Taylor Swift Eras tour ticket scam that netted about $600,000.
Nice. If you can do it big, right?
The Queens New York DA's office claims that the defendants exploited high-profile events to profit at the expense of others.
Nice.
2 people have been arrested after helping to steal more than 900 tickets. And a majority of those were Taylor Swift tickets, but some of them were for sporting events too.
Okay.
And then they would resell the tickets online to make, like I said, more than a $600,000 profit.
How'd they steal them?
So
it's all online now. Didn't you tell me that the other day? Everything's online.
Yeah. They went through a whole process of computer tampering, and the district attorney's office of Queens said that Tyrone Rose, who is 20 years old, and Shamara Simmons, who's 31, Jamaica, Queens, New York, were arrested on Thursday, February 27th, and charged with grand larceny in 2nd degree, computer tampering in the 1st degree, conspiracy in the 4th degree, and computer tampering in the 4th degree. What they did is they exploited a loophole through an offshore ticket vendor to steal tickets. And then they resold the seats that they stole for the profit of $600,000. The takedown highlights the vigilance of the Cybercrime and cryptocurrency unit, as well as the importance of working with our industry partners to combat fraudulent activities and ensure the protection of consumers. So what they did was use their access to StubHub's computer system to find a backdoor into the secure area of the network where already sold tickets were given a URL and queued to be emailed to the purchaser to download.
Got it.
And then Rose and his accomplice redirected the URLs to the emails of Simmons and a now deceased accomplice who lived in Queens. The pair in New York downloaded the tickets from the rerouted URL and resold the tickets by posting them on StubHub for profit. So I just want to know, if you show up at a concert, if they're reused, you're sitting in someone's seat and
No, you don't get in. That
you just, what if the other person
they
gets
got to
it?
scan your shit at the door. Well, I mean, evidently they had the financial information, never went to Ticket Stub or Hub Stub or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
And so they show up and then they had fake tickets. Well,
yeah. So
that's really sucks for all those Swifties and other people. Sports fans, sporting events are expensive too.
Right. It was also not just, like I said, the Taylor Swift tour, but Adele, Ed Sheeran, NBA games, U.S. Open tennis championships, I guess anywhere that they could do it. And the Eras tour, just a little bit of fun fact, is the most attended tour, had over $2 billion in ticket sales.
Isn't it crazy? Because I couldn't tell you one Taylor Swift song. But I guess I'm old.
So StubHub has referred to the investigation and blah, blah, blah. So
there you have it.
Yeah.
The tickets, you don't even know. And you're right, we did cancel the show. We had sold out the House of Blues and sold it out. And then we found that they were charging like another $27 or $37 a ticket on top of the House of Blues tickets.
Yeah.
It was a Ticketmaster. I'm like, fuck that, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was too much money to charge anyway, right? And then, but that's what their rate was.
The way that we found that out was, I don't know if you remember this, but the tickets that we were going to use, we didn't want to just take seats. I don't know what, but we went and bought tickets, like for your parents or whatever. And then that's when we saw.
They had tables and another seat and all that. Yeah. Well, we're not going to stick it to you unnecessarily. That's for sure. Like they did. So speaking of artists in New York.
Okay.
We're going back to New York. A guy named Michael Mickey Harmon, who's 40, and his partner, Jordan Salato, 37. They were found dead inside their home on Tuesday, March the 4th.
Okay.
All right. So the couple, they were both artists. This is in Buffalo, New York, and they be dead. So Michael Mickey Harmon, 40, and his partner, Joseph, like I told you, were identified as victims by the acting Buffalo Mayor, Chris Scanlon. And according to Deputy Buffalo Police Commissioner Patrick Overdorf, their bodies were found when officers arrived at the property after receiving a call about a person with a knife. And the 911 call was made by a friend who had showed up at their home concerned when one of them had not been at work. So he was doing his own welfare check, right? So upon arrival, the officers did encounter a male with a knife. The male did drop the knife, but only after cutting himself. So I guess he's going to
act like it was...
he didn't want to do his suicide bullets. He's going to suicide himself, I guess. Mm-hmm. So 35-year-old man, whose name had been released, was taken to the hospital, and he's still there under police supervision. And they say that he is considered a person of interest. Captain Obvious. But the bottoms of Harmon and Salato were found after officers did the search, because it's suspicious, right? Mm-hmm. And the chief said the medical examiner's office determined their cause of death to be blunt force trauma. And, the death remains under investigation by the Buffalo Police Homicide Squad. I may be incorrect on this. What's the most famous murder case to ever come out of Buffalo? Do you know?
Oh, gosh. I should know. I've heard.
I'm almost positive Jean-Benet Ramsey was in Buffalo, but I'm not sure.
I thought she was in Colorado.
Oh, you're right. What am I thinking about? I know it was Colorado. I don't know why. Boulder.
Yeah.
Okay. So they said there is no indication at this point in the investigation that this is related to a hate crime because, they were two guys that were married. But obviously we're early in the investigation and continue to investigate all leads. So they had a council member, Mitch Nowakowski, who said that Harmon and Salato had been partners for quite some time and referred to them as his personal friends. And he said, as a district council member and as a member of the LGBTQ community, there is nothing that suspects that this was a hate crime. So I want to put those tensions at ease. The larger community does not have to be fearful that somebody that could be a connection of these homicides is at large. So they said they don't have any answers yet as to whether the suspect, person of interest, has any connections to him. They said Harmon was a prolific artist who had an art gallery that he owned with a few people called the Pineapple. And he said art was the mutual connection between him and his partner.
Right.
He said not only did they have to do different jobs to pay the bills, but they set performances and really garnered their artist community to work together. And they were also involved in various community events. Mm-hmm. So, isn't that crazy?
That's too bad. That's horrible.
And nobody knows why.
Yeah.
Maybe they like his art or something. I don't know.
I don't think that's a reason to kill.
No, it's not a reason to kill. I'm just saying.
I know. It's I feel like when we make comments like that, I mean, goodness, like I can't, like what I said about the tickets.
Killing's bad. Stealing's bad.
Yeah.
Bad people suck.
Right.
F the bad people.
Well, I've got a not so bad story. I think you're going to like this one.
I'm going to keep you in New York today, my next one.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be in Connecticut.
Connecticut. I think
then I'm going somewhere else.
Is it the Granite State?
I'm actually going to be international on this one.
What is Connecticut known for? I always get it wrong about the Granite State.
Here's an answer from OneKeyData.com and TravelToNext.com.
What state is the Granite State?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
Fuck, it's always New Hampshire. All right, good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Connecticut.
Yes, and then we're going international.
Okay.
Andrea Michelle Reyes was 23 months old. when her mother,
baby
Rosa Tenorio, abducted her from her New Haven, Connecticut home.
Okay.
The toddler was in the custody of her father at the time of the abduction on October 5th of 1999, and it was always suspected that Tenorio had taken the little girl to Mexico. A felony arrest warrant was issued for Tenorio by the New Haven Department of Police. Okay. So the Reyes, the little girl's father, went to Mexico multiple times to look for the child. His attempts to locate her were never successful.
It's pretty hard to find a kid in Mexico.
It was like a needle in a haystack. And he never heard from her or the mother. But the search continued, and Reyes had age progressed photos that were shared by organizations like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And now Reyes is 27 years old, and she's been found after a Connecticut detective never gave up, continued investigating the cold case abduction, and began reinvestigating it in 2023. And his name is, she took the case and was able to pinpoint Reyes's location in Puebla, southeast of Mexico City, thanks to social media posts, interviews, and search warrants.
Because somebody saw the age enhanced still, right?
Yes. So Nivikov, which was the detective that started looking into it, reached out to Reyes directly and verified her identity with the help of Othram, which is that.
So she didn't even change her name?
I don't know.
Othram was a DNA lab.
Yeah, exactly. And the company used DNA to confirm the relationship between Reyes and the father, and leading to the reconnection of them after 25 years.
He didn't have to pay child support all those years.
Well, I think he would have much rather pay the child support.
Can you guess how many times you've probably tried the latest diet craze? It's like, I used to do Weight Watchers back in the day, counting the points. And the more you yo-yo diet, the more stubborn your fat gets, and then you're stuck like Chuck again. It's not about willpower. You've willed yourself through enough brutal diets and workouts. It's probably genetics, and doctors at Sono Bello can help determine if your body's problem areas are genetic. Wherever you have stubborn, diet-resistant fat and inches, Sono Bello's micro laser fat removal technology removes it for good in one comfortable visit. Those stubborn inches around your tummy are gone. Muffin tops, side fat, gone. Even saggy loose skin, gone. Permanently. All that's left are the beautiful natural curves you've been hoping to get. Warm weather is almost here. Now is the perfect time to visit Sono Bello and get your goal body in time for swimsuit season. Micro laser fat removal is the permanent solution, and Sono Bello doctors are the experts. Schedule your free consultation now and you'll get their best offer of the season. sonobello.com/RLRC. That's SONOBELLO.com/RLRC. March is Sleep Awareness Month. The perfect time for you to think about the quality of your sleep and how the mattress you choose can make all the difference. Avocado Green Mattress is committed to providing mattresses that not only help you sleep better, but also are healthier for you and the planet. Did you know that with the right mattress, you can improve your sleep quality by up to 50%? If you're not waking up refreshed and ready to tackle the day, it might be time to consider Avocado and their sleep-enhancing design. Cyndi and I love Avocado for so many reasons. Not only are the materials organic and free of chemical and toxins, Avocado mattresses promote better sleep through breathable, naturally temperature-regulated materials, which is so important to our sleep right now. Did I mention there is a mattress to fit your needs too? Avocado offers gentle to firm to plush mattress comfort and support. Take their quiz to find out which mattress and comfort option is right for you. Avocado stands by their products too. They offer easy financing options with a firm, sleep trials up to 1 year, and options to try before you buy. Head to avocadomattress.com today and save up to 10% on certified organic mattresses. Dream of better.
Then Othram, just points out that this is just one case that they've investigated, and they have a big 525, it's called Project 525 initiative, and they've partnered, with national missing and unidentified persons, and, to resolve 525 missing juvenile cases.
That's crazy. I love those people.
Yeah.
They've solved so many cold case DNAs through that familiar DNA.
And Chief Carl Jacobson of the New Haven Police says, while cases may have investigative leads exhausted at the time, no cold case is ever truly closed. We remain committed to resolving every cold case, and this is a perfect example of that effort.
Good for them.
And they still haven't found the mom, so I don't know what the mom did with the little girl, because she said that they is believed to be in Mexico, but they still haven't found her.
She's hiding. And awesome. Good shit. And I don't really agree with no cold case ever goes. Well, I tell you what they do. They sit in filing cabinets somewhere and until somebody like this guy comes and looks at them, right?
I think that you do believe that no cold case is because you wouldn't continue the fights that you fight.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I sat there and looked, like the first one I ever did, Janet Benoit, which was tied to Mark Lewis. I sat there and, my first day I read the cases, but those filing cabinets have been sitting back there forever.
Yeah, because
bodies don't stop hitting the ground.
That's what I was going to
case files are still coming across your desk. You got to go continue. I mean, you can only allocate so much time and unless something pops up, and then sometimes shit gets dismissed or overlooked. And it's been not easy, but it's easier on my part to be able to play armchair quarterback and say, oh, what about this? What about that? But Wesley Dale Morgan, a little boy, went missing from right outside of my hometown, East Feliciana Parish. And I know he and Ned, they did the big manhunt. I did a story on them, y'all, and maybe we could post some they did all the age enhancement photos and all that. And I even got full immunity from the mama and when interviewed her when she was in jail. Full immunity from the DA. Said as long as that boy and Deb, because he was of age now, as long as he and Deb will totally wipe away the charges. She told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah.
And guess what? She got arrested after that for selling another kid.
Yeah. And she was actually effing people in the back of the car
night that
he went
little Wesley went messing and she was banging
Well, what I wanted to say is what police officers, because there are many bodies hitting the ground, they want to get the current cases before they get called. They've got to do, they can't. It's just only enough time in the day.
You have no idea. Yeah.
I don't have any idea.
When it's working, especially if it's not a high profile victim, and then the boss man calls and says, oh, and I got this other case. This is, more media attention, whatever. It is what it is. There's 1,000 reasons why they go cold.
Yeah.
So let's go to New York City. And they had a dude named Luis Ramirez, but he was from Utah.
Okay.
Oh, Luis might be what we call a 103 M.
Crazy.
Luis, a little bit of a history buff and a whole lot of what do you call it when you hate on other people? Like, like the Nazis hated Jews.
Oh, gosh.
God damn, I can't think of it. Anyway, a racist.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, that's because of not in our vocabulary. But he was a whole lot of a racist.
Okay.
All right. So he decides that he is going to go to New York City to the Manhattan Synagogue, which is one of the biggest Jewish synagogues there is in the United States.
Yeah.
And this is on Thursday, March the 6th. Well, it's because he's racist, but he's not really he.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a she?
No, it's worse than that. He believed he was someone else.
Jesus?
Worse than that.
I don't even want to say.
He thought he was Hitler.
Holy moly.
I know it's not funny.
That's horrible. How does he think that?
But listen, now I'll tell you all about it. So he claimed he was Adolf Hitler in a past life, and he threatened to kill as many Jews as I killed in World War II.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Okay.
So, and he's charged with terrorism on March 6th after making the terroristic threats against the Manhattan Synagogue. So he's 23 years old from Utah, and I told you that He's charged with one count of making a terroristic threat as a hate crime and another count of making a terroristic threat in this court of Manhattan DA's office. So Ramirez was arrested by the Port Authority police in New Jersey while trying to cross trying to cross into Manhattan through the Lincoln Tunnel on February the 14th around 5:30 p.m. So NBC New York that reported all this. He was arrested after he made online threats to shoot up the prominent Manhattan synagogue, the Central Synagogue. His posts were found by the Community Security Initiative, who reported the threats to law enforcement. This per the Times of Israel. But this idiot, I mean, he's making posts about it, right?
Yeah.
And you think people aren't watching that shit nowadays? But he did more posts. He did lots of posts on X, including threatening statements saying he was Adolf Hitler in a past life. And again, he threatened to kill as many Jews as he killed in World War II. Listen to what he said. He said, Jews killed me in my past life. And he wrote this in different X posts, a bunch of them, right? It said he also threatened the massacre at the Central Synagogue in another post because he just couldn't shut up. And so on Thursday, March the 6th, he appeared in court and where he was photographed grinning in handcuffs. And during the court appearance, the ADA, David Stewart, said the defendant made terroristic threats that he was Adolf Hitler reincarnated. I mean, you know, if you believe in reincarnation, why do you always have to believe you come back as a king or Adolf Hitler?
Right,
or
exactly.
Why aren't you a milkman? Exactly. Or a postal worker? But before his arrest, check this out. He had been discharged from Military Officer Cadet Training School in Virginia, probably BMI, for psychological reasons. Mm-hmm. And during this time there, he also made some threats. Mm-hmm. So Judge Jalita Lozana granted the prosecution's request that he would be administered a psychological exam. Now, when the prosecution requested, you know that he's cray. So prosecutors said Ramirez said and recorded prison calls before his extradition that he made reference to himself as being different biblical characters. Additionally, while in custody, he was diagnosed with some serious mental health disorders, including psychosis and delusions. And, well, his attorney agreed that the mental health exam is proper.
Yeah, I think so. He's 23.
Yeah. That was fucking funny though. So Luis Ramirez allegedly, there's that word, made extremely disturbing and serious threats against Central Synagogue, and we have absolutely no tolerance for this conduct, the DA said. He is now charged with significant terrorism and hate crime charges and was remanded into custody, in any form of anti-Semitism is despicable. And I want Manhattan's Jewish community to know we are remaining extremely vigilant. And look, if convicted, he faces up to 15 years in jail, and he's being held with no bond because he's cray. And killing is bad. Racism is stupid.
Oh,
Racism is stupid. I don't care who you are.
Genocide is stupid.
Yes. Genocide is bad. No. Genocide is when you kill an entire race.
Well, that's what he's trying to do.
He was going to kill some Jewish people in the church. He's not Hitler tried to kill every Jew in the world.
Well,
he killed 6 million of them.
I know, but he said he was going to kill that many.
I mean, did? Oh, well, yeah, whatever. He said they killed me in my past life and I'm going to kill some. Oh, as many as I did. Yeah, you're right. Proceed.
Thank you, sir. We're going to go to Maryland. We're just kind of staying in the East Coast today.
Spent a little time in Maryland.
I have not.
Well, I was working.
Remember? I'm just teasing you, baby.
I don't know why you teasing me.
Huh?
Why are you teasing me?
Because we always tease. I always tease you about places that I haven't gone. Like,
and I always say I'm going to take you there one day.
I know.
I don't think we're going to Maryland now. Fuck you want to say sleepy little towns on the rivers and shit, but me no like a Baltimore.
Me no like. Can you speak English, please?
Me no like a Baltimore. That's Woody Overton English.
Do you remember the podcast that when we were taking the drive and I said, you need to do a podcast, and you said, put on the
Best in the world.
Best in the world. Do you know which one I put on?
The dude that murdered his girlfriend, teenager.
Right. It was the Serial podcast.
Yeah.
And the host was talking about a non-Saeed, right?
Yeah. They did like some HBO specials and shit on too, I think.
Yes.
I think that was like kind of when podcasts were really coming into their own.
Yes, it was. Especially the true crime genre.
I don't know. When we got in, there was like 400,000.
Literally.
Now there's like 4.5 million podcasts.
Yeah.
It's not quite that easy.
Yeah. Well, after years of Saeed's 2000 murder conviction being reinstated and overturned, a judge ruled on Thursday, March 6th, that he will not be going back to prison.
Okay.
So he gained, of course, national notoriety after his case became the subject of the Serial podcast in 2014. And he was first convicted of the 1999 murder of his ex-girlfriend, Hae Min Lee, in 2000. And he was 17 at the time.
Yep.
After the most recent conviction was upheld by the Maryland Supreme Court in 2024, Saeed's legal team requested a reduced sentence because he's been out of prison since his conviction was overturned in 2022.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go back.
Judge Jennifer Schiffer of the Baltimore City Circuit Court granted the motion on Thursday, according to the court documents. She wrote that Saeed is eligible for relief via the Juvenile Restoration Act, which applies to those who were minors when they committed a crime.
Yeah, so y'all know, they changed that in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So they could go back and review it, maybe 5 years. And go back and review those cases. And I know one guy that got out, he brutally murdered a little girl. I think he was on PCP or something over in the Cajun country. And he got life. And another guy from Louisiana, an older black gentleman, had been sentenced, whatever. And anyway, they won that thing, whatever it is that you're talking about. But the guy that murdered the little girl over there was actually the first one to be released under that.
Okay.
And he ended up coming out, and he works now with reintegrating, or however you say it.
Reintegration.
Reintegration of, and they look, you can't kind of con. They go and they advocate for these certain people to be released, and they have the group homes for them to go to, but they go and they interview them at Angola.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, fuck you, or no, we think you have a chance. And they help them get a driver's license and a checking account. And these people have never done anything. They were juveniles when they got locked up.
Exactly.
And I think they had like a 90-something% success rate.
That's
only
awesome.
Like 10% gets swung back. And he married a doctor and has kids now.
But that's awesome.
Yeah. It sucks for that little girl, but he owns it. I mean, that it's horrible for her family, but he absolutely owns that the badness that he did, the evil he did.
Yeah. She said that he was eligible for the relief. I'm going to just say that which applies to those who were minors when they were committed a crime and were convicted as adults. They also had to be sentenced before October 1st of 2021.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
She noted in her decision that Syed was 17 when Lee was killed, and he was sentenced in 2000. And although Syed was convicted for violent acts, first-degree murder, kidnapping, robbery, and false imprisonment, she pointed out that before Lee's murder, he had no criminal history and later maintained an outstanding institutional record
He was a good
during
boy.
the 23 years he was incarcerated. And although The judge took into account a statement from Lee's family in response to the JRA, which said in part that Saeed's claim of innocence showed a lack of remorse and the failure to take responsibility for his actions. The judge ultimately concluded that Saeed is not a danger to the public and the interest of justice will be better served by a reduced sentence.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that followed all that. And, if he's innocent, he's innocent. If he's not, then he skated after 23 years, and I forget the family's pain. So, but I wasn't there.
Right. So she did sentence him for the time he already has served and then 5 years of probation.
Yeah, it's not like he can hide in plain sight and get away with another crime now. His face is everywhere. Right?
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, you like all these chick shows.
I do.
What about the one called Gigolos?
Never heard of it.
Really?
Never heard of it.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? I know Cyndi was, and if you're a woman, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living rent-free in our environment right now, found in our food, water, and even in our skincare products. These disruptors can wreak havoc on our hormones. Believe me, before Hormone Harmony, I watched Cyndi suffer. Not anymore. Hormone Harmony's formula, made only with herbal ingredients, have reduced Cyndi's hormonal symptoms, and it helps women of all ages. Then there are the natural hormonal changes our bodies face, such as menopause. While these processes are part of life, they don't have to be uncomfortable. The good news is that you don't have to suffer through it any longer. Hormone Harmony contains science-backed herbal extracts known as adaptogens, designed to help the body cope with stressors, including those chaotic hormonal fluctuations that can disrupt your daily life. Whether it's PMS symptoms like irritability and cravings, or menopause symptoms such as hot flashes and night sweats, Hormone Harmony can help with it all. Happy Mammoth, the creator of Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to improving women's lives by using only high-quality science-backed ingredients. They make no compromises on quality, ensuring that you receive the best support possible. This isn't just a supplement, it has become a phenomenon. Women are talking about it everywhere, with a bottle of Hormone Harmony sold every 24 seconds. And the most important benefit, women express feeling like themselves again. A sentiment echoed in over 30,000 positive reviews. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com. Don't forget to use the code RLRC for 15% off today. We all know I love me some tacos. They're great every night of the week, not just Taco Tuesday. But Cyndi really wants me to eat healthier this year, and Factor's chef-made gourmet meals have made eating well easy. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for my busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goal. Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto, Factor has it all figured out. My favorite meal has been the jalapeno sweet corn polenta and chicken. Imagine a whole chicken breast marinated in lemon juice, garlic, and smoked paprika, grilled until juicy and topped with a zesty salsa verde. It's served over a creamy Parmesan polenta loaded with diced jalapenos, corn, mozzarella, and scallions. Bell peppers, red onions, and cauliflower are served on the side with fajita spiced butter. It was delicious and nutritious. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use Factor Podcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Me either. But evidently
it's based on Woody Overton.
It's a real deal.
Just a
wish I
gigolo.
could go back and
Remember that David Lee
redo it.
Wells
But you have to think that your career span is not that long as a gigolo.
I don't know.
I mean, you could start in your teens and I would reckon, by the time you're 55, gigolo days are over.
Your gigoloing is just starting.
All right. So Gigolo star Ash Armand pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter and mayhem for the 2020 beaten death of Herline Dulai. You don't never recognize this guy?
No.
Okay. I figured she's probably a secret gigolo watching y'all. And didn't
No,
tell me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, well, it was on Showtime from 2011 to 2016. So it ran for a lot of seasons. It was a controversial reality show, Gigolos, which portrayed the glamorous, risque lifestyle of 5 male escorts in Las Vegas. But 4 years after the last episode aired, one of those escorts was arrested for murder. So Ash Armand, whose real name, I guess they changed it for TV, is Ashkaya Kubayak, was sentenced to 8 to 20 years in prison after he pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter and mayhem for the July 2020 beating to death of Herline Delay, an escort in Las Vegas Journal. He claimed that she attacked him after they took psychedelic mushrooms together and that he had blacked out. Okay, that's not really a defense. Armand, how the fuck you know?
That's what I was
She attacked
say.
me after we blacked out on mushrooms, but she attacked me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And you don't black out on mushrooms anyway. Armand called the police to report her unconscious. And when the cops got there, they wrote in the arrest report that Delay was obviously deceased. She'd be dead. Her official cause of death was blunt force trauma and strangulation. So if one didn't get you, the other one will.
Goodness.
Listen to this, and I quote, "I have never hit a woman in my life, and I certainly never wanted to hurt Herline," Armand said during a sentencing hearing. Now, evidently, Paramount Plus docuseries Sin City Gigolo, which premiered on March the 4th, covers the case and interviewed the former cast and crew about their experiences with Armand. And director Barbara Shearer told TV Insider that though the Gigolo star was guilty, there was a rush to judgment during the initial investigation.
What?
Said after diving into this case and going down the rabbit hole, there was a rush to judgment. Bottom line is, they got the right guy. I'm not in any way saying that didn't happen. We have the right guy, but were corners cut? Yes. Was there a rush to judgment? Yes.
Well, what? What?
It's called an investigation, bitch. So what happened to Ash Armand? Here's everything you ever want to know about the Gigolo star's manslaughter case. So as I told you, Ash Armand is the former star of the Showtime reality series Gigolo. He joined the cast in season 3 and was known as the group's Zen Master, right? Gosh. Yeah, there you go. So they actually have a campaign funding website for his defense. Imagine that. Armand was described as a gentle healer, sensitive teacher, and generous friend that likes to beat and strangle women. But the reality star was raised in Maine and Japan with his 2 siblings. And in a letter to the court, Armand's mom wrote, "From when he was a little boy, Ashakaya grew up immersed in the healing traditions and philosophies of the East and West." Well, I'm pretty sure he fucking did some other stuff. But Shearer told TV Insider that his upbringing was very unconventional and very open sexually, and that it wasn't a big leap for him to get into sex work. And he wrote that he was a sex and fitness educator. That's a good job to have, right? As well as a father. And that's in his Instagram bio. And according to, they said it is unclear when exactly Armand got into sex work, but he started working for the agency Cowboys for Angels in 2012. The company's founder, Garen James, got him a spot on Gigolos that year. And Armand remained on the show for 4 years until it ended in 2016. I guess you can only bang so many girls on Showtime before it gets canceled. But Herline Delay, how do you think they even have a show like that?
That's what I'm
people
thinking.
are going to like, oh, I'm in Vegas. I'm going to get laid. My husband's not here. My boyfriend's not here. Let me call
Maybe
up a
they are
Gigolo
there.
search. I wonder if they black out their faces.
On the show?
Yeah.
Why would, maybe they sign a
I don't know.
I mean, it could be single women, just one.
I always said nothing sells like sex and murder. But Harleen Delay was the victim, was a friend of Armand, and according to an investigation, there are conflicting reports about whether or not she was one of his clients. Now, during their friendship, the Las Vegas Review-Journal reported that they started a business together though the nature of the business is unclear. Now, according to her obituary, Delay was born in Northern California and graduated from Temple University in Pennsylvania. She led a youth group in Las Vegas, enjoyed working with children. At the time of her murder, she was working as a personal trainer. So, you think if you're a personal trainer, you wouldn't have to hire a gigolo.
What they're saying, that they had another relationship, like that they could have been business partners and just, he might have been teaching her some sex moves.
Maybe so. She was teaching her stuff to teach in her personal training. But anyway, they go on to say she touched every soul she came into contact with and left a sparkle. She will be remembered for her twinkling smile, contagious laughter, and comforting hugs. Now, Delay was 29 when she was murdered on July 16, 2020. And the night before, she had gone over to Armand's house, and the pair had taken psychedelic mushrooms, lit candles, prayed, and watched Avatar.
Okay.
That's not funny, but at 10 a.m. the following morning, Armand calls 911 and said, "It is going to sound insane because it is insane. There was a struggle. I temporarily lost my mind." And paramedics, show up, and they found Armand attempting to do CPR while he was on the phone with a 911 operator. They, is she breathing? No. You know, CPR? No. We'll do this. Some chest compressions, breathe, blah, blah, blah. And he had told the 911 operator that Delay has experienced a heart attack, but the first responders didn't find evidence of a heart attack, and Delay had been clearly beaten and blood was spattered around the room.
Wow.
So
he temporarily lost his mind.
But she had a heart attack, but there was blood all over the walls and shit. Now, when the police get there, and I'm going to quote him, "When the police get here, I'll surrender," Armand told the paramedics. And Delay's autopsy found evidence of extreme violence, and her cause of death, like I told you, was determined as blunt force trauma with strangulation as a contributing factor. And naturally, it was ruled a homicide. So later on, he said he attacked Delay because she first attacked him. And at the trial, her family asked what kind of assault could possibly make the level of violence Armand enacted necessary. And in September 2021, he ends up pleading guilty to felony counts of voluntary manslaughter and mayhem. He said it was to spare the family a trial or whatever. And he got a whole whopping 8 to 20 years in prison.
That is not enough.
Yeah, well, Gigolos was canceled in 2016, but throughout its 6-season run, the raunchy reality series was met with criticism, especially surrounding its legality. Prostitution has been legal in Nevada since 1971, but this is such a fallacy. It's only like one county.
Yeah,
and it's like 45 minutes from Vegas.
Like the Bunny Ranch or whatever it's called.
Right. And whatever, world's oldest profession.
Another place you've never taken me to that we don't.
I've never been. I've never been to the Bunny Ranch. I've never been to the Bunny Ranch. I've seen it on TV. Like, I forget what was it. There was a show about it or something.
Yeah, there was a show about it.
But
we never
watched Gigolos.
I didn't watch it. I remember hearing about it because of a Kardashian thing, but that's another story.
The Las Vegas police spokesman said that in 2011 that even though the Gigolos cast referred to themselves as a companion service and accepted payment prior to any sexual activity, the activities were still considered illegal. They said they could play the line as loose as they want, somatically, but they're still violating the law. However, because the transactions took place on camera and not in front of an officer, they weren't considered an arrestable offense. So Armand's locked up doing his 20-year prison sentence, 8 to 20 years, in a Nevada Correctional Center. And
so 8 to 20 years, he could possibly be out in 4?
I think that's probably a hard 8.
Okay.
But they said he is definitely a strong president throughout the series, which was very important.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, so there you have it. Armand the Gigolo Killer.
I used to like that David Lee Roth song, Gigolo. I'm just a gigolo.
You're really telling how old you are now. You're really telling how old you are now.
The part I'm playing.
All right, that's it. Love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for tuning in and liking and listening and sharing and all that good podcaster shit. And I got nothing else for today.
Me either. I'm done.
I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
Now I'm done. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.